Hey, what's up guys, it's Snappacks here, and today we've got episode 1 of the Swansea Career Mode, so hopefully we can kick this off today. So basically guys, we've started a career mode with Swansea City, and hopefully we can basically survive them from relegation and maybe try and get mid-table or fight for the top 4. But top 4 is really unrealistic for me. I'm trying to be a mid-table team and maybe get a transfer offer later on and move teams to a bigger club later on. But I really want to try and get Swansea to win the league, or maybe challenge for top 4 and try and not get into the bottom 4 drop. But guys, I'm going to buy a few players, and there is one player I want to go out there and buy. He does play for, I think it is the MLS League, and I can actually pronounce his name, which is Jordan, and hopefully we can pick him up on a really nice deal. There are a few players I do want to pick up in this career mode. Hopefully they won't cost too much. It does actually depend if we can actually afford these players or not. So the first player is Jordan Morrison, who is a striker, and for him, apparently, as you see, he is showing great potential. He is one of the young players out there who could be really good out there. They're kind of asking for around about 2.8 million. If we can pick him up for the right price, and he's only around about 21 years old, it'll be great. As you see, reports have been shown that his sprint speed, acceleration, agility, aggression and jumping is all in his high potential work rate. So hopefully we can pick this player up. But we are going to get rid of a few players because there are a few players in the team we don't really need. And we're going to quickly go on and look what players we have in the club. As you see, Gomes, and there's a few players that are loaned out for a year. If these players come back and play well for the club, they will stay. If they don't, we'll get rid of them. As you see, Jones is left mid. We're not going to really use him because he's loaned out. The keeper we will get rid of. I'm not really going to offer a new contract. I am going to get rid of him. You will, guys, you will know because I will be bringing in really nice players, really young players, fresh players, and I might bring in 1 or 2 veterans along the way. But it does depend if we can afford it. So we're going to get rid of Martin Olsen, the left back. There are a few players what can sell for quite a bit. As you see, Carroll we're going to keep because I like Carroll and I think he's a great player. Sickerson we're going to keep. 25 million he's going for. We can pick up an absolute bargain if we wanted to get rid of him later on. But there are a few players in the team, except like Ayu. I don't really want to keep him. His potential is really good, but I do kind of want to get rid of him. Nade's him as well. I want to kind of get rid of him. He looks quite good, but in my opinion, there's players what can stay in the club and players that we can get rid of him. Jefferson we're going to get rid of when transferred to list. We want to try and get rid of many players as possible. We're going to try and transfer them to our list, and that's it for the meanwhile. We'll get rid of some more players, but I do want to see if we can have a few friendlies along the way and see how this team will play out. So as you see, news, the greener, he's going to be leaving. As you see, thank you for your inquiry for Jordan Morris. He has recently joined us, the Sounders, and we're not interested in discussing his availability at this time. So, he will not be leaving the club, which is kind of annoying because that is our main striker we was trying to go for. That's just basic information. European international top telling us how to introduce yourself. Reports have arrived. But we do want to kind of get players out of the team straight away. I'm not going to play these first couple of games. I kind of want to sim the pre-season games and play the start of the Premier League because these are only pre-season games, so they kind of want to be kind of go out the way. So, first game we have got into the European International Cup. We do go 1-0 up with Leroy Fer, who has a great goal within the 4th minute. We're now moving on to the 20th minute, and hopefully we can go up with a 2-0 lead, but I do reckon they'll get one back and it will go 1-0. We just have to wait and find out. Now, simming this, now going on to the match, is 1-0 for Swansea. Carrying on, I reckon it will be 1-0. I do have a gut feeling. Nope, Sickerson, as you see, the £25 million player has now scored for Swansea, which makes it 2-0, which for our first game is not too bad. The top goal scorers have scored some goals, which is not too shabby. Now, we're going to be moving on to our next players. Hopefully, we've got some transfer news coming up. We have received a transfer offer for Fabianski, and hopefully we can move him on. They want 11 mil, I want 12.5. If I can get him for around about 14 mil, we can let him go. I've got the money to let him go. If they won't do that, if they only counter offer at 12 mil, I'll let him go for 12 mil. I kind of want to bring in a new keeper into the team. Fans rejoice as Lynch is triumphant in his first match. We received an offer for our striker for 8 mil. They're offering 8 mil. I can at least get around about 11 mil. I can try and squeeze a little bit of profit out of this guy. We want to try and invest in like players, young players, some nice players. Boss might request. I was hoping you might experiment with the squad and would give you a chance to play. Not at the moment. We will be playing young players throughout the league, so don't worry, you will be getting a game. So we've got a next game, and it is away, and hopefully we can pick up a result here. I reckon it will be a 1-0 win to Swansea, but we never know because the International Cup. As you see, Sigurdsson, the £25 million player. As you see, Castro has now scored for them, which makes it 1-1. And we can push on to half-time, which is 1-0 at half-time. Now moving on to the game, we're going into the 60th minute, and hopefully we can pick up a light goal. As you see, we have got players coming off, and it goes into the 80th minute, and it looks like it's going to be a draw. But as you see, Sigurdsson has now scored 2. We do win the game 2-1. As you see, Llorente, which is our main striker on this series, we now need to invest in a new striker. It depends how long he'll be out for. Now, going on to skimming some of these matches, as you see, we've received your asking price of 14 million from Fabianski. We decided to go ahead. So AC Milan are buying our keeper, so we do need to invest in a new keeper, which we need to look onto the transfer market and see if we can buy a really good keeper. We've received transfer bid. He's going for 6 mil. Sunderland for 5.5. If we could try and get him out for around about 8 million coins and playing Ultimate Team, 8 million. Hopefully we can list him, and hopefully Sunderland will go the extra mile to get him. So Llorente has suffered a lateral ligament damage and will be out for around about 3 months, which is kind of annoying because that's when our season starts and we do need a striker. So again, striker is kind of the main thing we need to go out there and get. There are a few players on my list I want to go out there and buy. Transfer coming in from Jefferson at 7.5. He's around about 9.5 million. Liverpool, are you having a bubble? I at least want around about 14 mil for him. He's a good player. He's going for around about 10 mil, and for Liverpool offered quite low for him. They've offered £4,000 more. I at least can get 9 mil. If they're going to offer that low, let's try and submit a bid for around about 9 million. He goes for about 8. That's a nice £1 profit. So they've upped their stakes, 7.5 million. He's going for around about 6 million. If we can up that to 8, you can have him. It's only 500,000, but it depends. A club like Sunderland, they're going to try and survive for relegation, like I'm going to try and survive. They're going to be going out there and trying to buy as many players as possible. International management will also, if I play well as a manager, I can also pick up a international career throughout the season. It depends. I might reject it, I might accept it. You guys have to wait and see. As you see, we have got our next game, fix the problem and change it myself. There's a few players probably on international duty. As you see, Llorente has to be moved because our striker is now injured, and we will be investing in a few more players. But it depends, guys. Put in the comment section below who you want me to buy on my career mode, so I can hopefully challenge somewhere in the Premier League for maybe top half of the season, top half of the league, maybe something like that. Basically, guys, 2 wins out of 2, going on to our third game. And as you see, Sigurdsson, we don't really want to get rid of him. He's 25 mil, but he's scoring goals for days. I was going to get rid of him, but luckily I kept him, and I want to probably give him a new contract because he's doing really well. Not yet, probably throughout the season, depends how he goes. And I probably will invest in some more players. But as you see, coming up to the 70th minute, and it is 1-0 at the minute, which is not too bad if we can hold this game out for 1-0. And as you see, Leroy Fer has now picked up another goal, and it does lead to a 2-0 win, which is not too shabby whatsoever. And we're now moving on to the semi-finals, which is against AC Milan, which is not too shabby. As you see, Fabianski has now moved to Milan. The team we're playing in the quarters, as you see, is sold for around about 40 mil. We won't get that much for him. And as you see, they're offering, okay, I want to get rid of him. I don't really want to keep him, to be honest. I want to invest in a really nice striker, a powerful striker up front who can score me goals. Prize money, you've got 2.2 million for winning to get into the next group stage. So hopefully we can beat AC Milan, the big boy Giants. They're offering to buy him for around about 8 mil. He goes for about 9. I'm going to kind of get rid of him. He could probably send him throughout the season for around about 15 mil, but I'm getting rid of him for around about 8 to 9 mil, which is not too bad. We will be losing out money. So the next game we'll be playing is the simmed match. As you see, We're at home. We're against AC Milan, the big boys of Milan. And hopefully we can pull out a result. I reckon I'll go 1-0 down and I'll come back for a draw, and maybe I'll get into the 90th minute and I'll push for a win. So we're going on to the half an hour mark. It's still 0-0 and hopefully we can pick up a result. Nothing's coming through, but Norton does pick up a yellow card, which is kind of annoying. We go 1-0 down and their striker who scores does come off, and we're coming into the 60th minute. Hopefully someone from Swansea can pick a goal, and now we're 2-0 down, so it does look like we're going out of the cup, which is kind of annoying because AC Milan are a good team and we need to kind of invest in the team a little bit more, because if we don't invest in players we won't basically challenge for the league, and I don't really want to be challenging for like relegation. I want to be like mid-table team. I want to try and push for top 4, but it does depend if we can actually get quite far. Players are sold, transfer offer. We reviewed your asking price for, but we're not, unfortunately. They're only offering 7.5 million, which I don't need him. I'm going to invest in another player. So 7.5 million, we're still making profit. So I'm going to get rid of him. As you see, we reviewed your asking price. So okay, we don't really care, to be fair. As a result of your performance, they gave us 3,850,000. So thank you very much. We've done quite well. Boss, I think I made a great replacement for Bansky. I'll go away. I might give you a chance, but it does depend because we'll probably invest in a few more players. But I'm going to go out on the transfer market and see if we can pick up a really good player. There's a player who plays for the Championship, and he plays for Huddersfield Town, who used to play for Southend United, and his name's Jack Payne. He's really, really good in my opinion. There's two players I really want to kind of pick up from Huddersfield. Is this Phil? He's a really good player. Philip, he's a really good player. He got a team this season, so hopefully we can pick up him. And if we can try and find the big boy, he's not big, but he's really tiny, Jack Payne, hopefully we can pick him up, and hopefully we can pick up the other centre mid, which is the Billing guy who plays for Huddersfield Town. As you see, showing great potential, and he's only 20 years old, so he'll be a really good investment into the team. And I'm going to quickly go onto the market and see how much they do offer, because if we can pick these players up for a good deal, we can hopefully pick a few up. And we see we've got a transfer offer, 9.5 million. If I can get 20 mil for him, which I won't get, I don't really care, to be honest. They can pay 20 mil. He's not worth 20 mil in my opinion. He's 27 years old. He's getting on now. Players sold. We have got 6 million from that, so that's going straight into there. He has recently joined us at Huddersfield, and we're not interested in discussing his availability at this time. This is really annoying me because all the players I want to buy, they're not available to purchase, which is really annoying at the minute because I just can't do anything. I just kind of want to pick up a player who will score me goals up front, and we might have to move to the Premier League, but we will be going over to the Championship, and we'll be moving over to Brighton, Derby, Fulham, Ipswich. So we're now going to be moving over to Newcastle. Newcastle have good strikers. I want to see who they have, and this boy Gal, who plays for Newcastle, who are going apparently back into the Premier League, he's recently signed from Crystal Palace for 7.5 million, so we can't purchase him. Is there any other guys we can pick up from Newcastle who are really good? So Perez does sometimes play as a striker, but also plays as a centre attacker mid. This guy showing great potential. He plays really well for Newcastle, but doesn't get the game time recommended for him. So if we can pick this guy up for around about 4 mil, 5 mil, that'll be a good purchase. But it does depend on if Newcastle want to get rid of some of their best players. And now we're moving on to the market. In response to your recent inquiries, we're considering a bit of around about 2.2 million. If we can try and pick him up for 1.6, 1.6 seems fair. It's a little bit low than asking, but you never know, they might accept it. In response to your striker you'd like to buy it, they would want around about £12 million. If we can pick him up for around about £8 million, that'll be quite nice. Important first team player. He will be a first team player at Swansea, because he'll be getting game time, and hopefully we can invest in him and build him up as a good player. Now, moving on to the next transfer news. We've reviewed your asking price. Whoa, Southampton. You big boys out there, ain't you? Look at this. We have reviewed your asking price for $20 million or euros, whatever that is, for Song Young, and have decided to go ahead with it, with the deal. For 20 mil, he goes for cheap as chips. I picked him up for literally nothing, and he was part of the team. I won't really use him in the team. I probably would use him for quite a bit, but he would be the main man for the centre mid spot. So we sold him on for around about 20 mil, which is absolutely amazing. There you go. Just to inform you, Huddersfield have received a bid of 1.6. So if we can up this bid for around about 1.7, because he does go for around about 2, and hopefully we can move him on. Now, he's going for around about 1.6. So if we go for around about 1.8 and scare off Huddersfield, maybe we can actually find a good deal. So 1.8, he does go for 2.2, and the last player I sold a minute ago went for 20 mil. So hopefully these teams will give me the players I want. Now, moving on, players have sold, players have moved on, and we are trying to invest in players. Swansea City sees club surge under Harry Lynch. There you go. We've reviewed your offer and we decided to reject it. It's too low. We've set a price tag of 12 mil. The lowest I'll probably go is 10,005. It's probably 1.5 million under their asking price, which is not too shabby, but it'll be nice to pick him up for that price. But the transfer window is coming to a close soon. Nathan Dyer, you want to buy him. Leicester City, the Championship winners of the Championship, moved to the Premier League, won the Premier League, and now have lost out to the Premier League because now Chelsea's the new champions. But now Leicester City, they want him for around about 5 mil. If we can hopefully get him on for around about 7.5 mil, I'll let him go. He's not really a good player in my opinion on the game. I can easily send him off. Now, moving on to the next player. Hopefully we can pick up a good player. As you see, Newcastle have accepted the offer of 10,500,000. He wants around about £60,000 in wages, which is not too shabby. 4 years he wants, and a first team, crucial first team I'll give to him because he's a really good player in my opinion, which is not too bad. Now, moving on to the next players, they've accepted it for around about 1.8, so he wants around about £10,000. He wants a 4-year deal, and he wants it to be a squad rotational player, which is not too shabby. Now, these players have sold, and they've got a couple of transfers to come through. But guys, that is going to be episode 1 for today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I will be back with episode 2 tomorrow. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And if you like the video, please like, and if you see more, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later. Peace.